What's up guys, welcome to Daily Refinement. In today's video, I'm going to go over the power of being a small eBay seller. Now I'm going to define small eBay seller. I would say this is between 0 and 250 items. So I consider that a small eBay store. So I run a Facebook group with my colleague Tech and Sports. It's important to understand, even though he has 50,000 items in his store, 50,000 items, that's really just 200 small stores inside of his big store, because he always just follows sort of these simple rules. And I'm going to go over them right now. And if you can follow these rules, you're going to be basically better off than 99% of resellers who grow beyond how fast they're supposed to be growing, and they're always taking money out of their pockets. So I'm going to suggest this for you. 1 to 5 new listings a day. If you don't want to work 7 days a week, none of us in the group recommend that. We recommend you schedule or draft listings for the future, because everyone needs time off. I never work on the weekends, so you want to schedule listings ahead. So you want to average 1 to 5 new listings a day, and you don't want to grow beyond that until you also have 1 to 5 sales per day. So do not grow until you have consistent sales of at least 1 a day on average, with only 250 items. Most people grow and grow and grow. Some people have 1,000 items and don't have 1 sale per day. So it's important to understand, while you are small, you can still pay attention to the things that will help you get daily sales. So I'm going to go over those 7 things that help you get daily sales in just a moment. So please smash the like button, consider subscribing, but don't grow until you have daily sales, and do not spend any money. That's going to sound really counterintuitive, but what that means is, start with selling something around the house. That'll take you from 0 to 5 or 10 items, the things that you already own. Then use the profit from the item that you sold to buy the next listings that you're going to be putting up. If you are disciplined and you do it this way from the beginning, you will learn that you need to buy things that have enough margin for you to grow your store and put some money in your pocket for a little bit of a safety margin. So it's important to understand 1 to 5 new listings a day to build that habit. 1 to 5 sales per day. Do not grow until you have daily sales, and do not spend any money. Now, I'm going to go over right now sort of the 7 things that you need to do in order to have daily sales. So they'll start right now. Number 1 is you need to create an inventory system where you can find items. So if you end up losing items, your defect rate is going to plummet your ability to get 1 to 5 sales a day, because eBay will not give you traffic. If you lose an item and you make a customer really unhappy, they actually won't come back to eBay, and there's no way. It's so hard to acquire a customer that if you are the reason eBay lost a customer, they're going to definitely throttle your traffic. That just makes sense. Number 2, making regular sales means you have to list regularly. I know that sounds crazy, and that's why I put 1 to 5. If you want to do this and you're really serious, you should be able to do at least 1 listing on average per day. If it takes just listing 7 listings 1 day a week and taking 6 days off, everybody can bust out 7 listings. I have a video on how I do 10 listings, shipping, packing, photography, listing, all of it in 41 minutes on my channel. So you can go and watch that video. And if I can do 10 in 41 minutes, you can bust 7 out in an hour. You bust 7 out in an hour, you can meet this minimum threshold. Next is, you need to learn how to price your items. So if you have 250 items listed and none are selling every single day, most likely it has to do with how you price your items. That's probably number 1. Number 2, or I'm sorry, this is number 4. How to list items is really important, because as you're going through the listing flow and figuring out how to put together a listing, if your intention is to have 1 to 5 sales per day, you're going to naturally pay attention to every single item specific, because you're not allowed to use any of your own money. So this is crazy, because I'm really not selling you anything right now, because literally I'm saying do this for free. Start at home, use stuff that you already own. This video is all you need. I do have a mentorship that you don't need, because I'm telling you not to spend any money. So if you're beyond this and you're already killing it, then share. If you want to use us to turbocharge your journey, that's awesome. But this first part, where you're just learning how to get 1 to 5 sales a day, doesn't require any mentorship. Next is, you're going to have to understand the cost of shipping and what it costs to ship an item, packing materials, all of that. And you're going to learn that really fast if you can't grow except for using the money. So for example, if you buy something for 10 and sell it for $16 plus shipping, and you put a shipping cost in of $12, but it actually costs $16 to ship, You ship that item to the customer, at the end of the day, you end up with $0 profit. You won't make that mistake again. But if you go and use some of your own money and buy a few more items to experiment on, you won't even notice that mistake that you made. So it's really, really important to not spend any money. Only reinvest your profits. Okay, the last two are, you're going to really narrow down what types of items you'd like to sell, because this becomes so important, the 1 to 5 sales daily, that I think people kind of forget about needing to buy something that they're passionate about. I personally don't care about the items that I sell. I think that makes it easier for me, because if I became emotionally attached to every single item, then it would suck, because I would be storing all of the items instead of selling. So in our podcast, we're actually releasing a secret podcast on August 27th called the Reseller Storage Podcast, where we talk about how to become the best hoarder that you can be. And a lot of it has to do with pricing your items so expensive that no one will ever buy them. In that scenario, you can just stay with your inventory for the rest of your life, because no one is even going to make you an offer if you're priced so high above market. So once you have your items, I would say the final piece of this that really helps put this all together is, this is really going to teach you how to take great photos. I know that sounds crazy, but in the beginning, if you're only listing 1 to 5 new listings daily, you have time to figure out your photo setup. You have time to make your setup complete, because it's when people jump to 10 or 15 or 20 that they take shortcuts, and they're like, you know what? My cell phone is easier. You know what? This is easier. And easier is not the same as getting sales daily. So you want to be consistent. The easier way, like listing completely from your phone, is slower overall than using the desktop. So it's just like, for right now, I'm doing this progressive overload with weightlifting. I started all the way back over at the bar, and I haven't been burned out. I haven't gotten injured. I don't feel like I'm stressed, because I'm just starting at the very, very bottom, and I'm increasing by 1 pound. So it will take a little bit longer for me to reach my goal, but the chances of me being injured are really low. If you spend no money building your eBay business, you are at basically zero financial risk. You watch this YouTube video for free, and I just showed you how to build $1 million business for free. You just have to be patient and use the profits that you make from your 1 to 5 sales daily to fund your 1 to 5 new listings daily. And guess what? This actually scales. So as you grow, I would say I want this number to be at half. So what that means is, if you're listing 10, at a minimum, you need to be selling 5. So this number is half. If you're not selling half as many items as you're putting up, you're probably growing too fast. You're probably putting items into your store that you shouldn't be putting into your store. You're probably priced too high. Your photos probably aren't quite good enough. You're probably not listing quite well enough. Your inventory system is probably not as organized as you want. You're probably buying items more based on what you like and what's convenient, more than what items are going to sell. And you probably don't understand how the numbers work. So list 10 only when you can sell at least 5. This journey from going from 1 to 5 to selling 5 and listing 10, this journey might take a couple of years, but I'm telling you, it's worth it. Once you're patient and you understand how these numbers work, you can scale your business to any size. Most people never take the time to learn how this works, and that's why their business is super shaky, and you see tons of eBay businesses going out of sale. Somebody please buy my inventory because I'm moving or I'm going out of business. So don't be one of those people. If you need more hand-holding, if you need more help, join our Patreon at patreon.com/theresellerspodcast at the $35 level, or our Facebook group. What I recommend is you post your question and tag myself or my partner Tech and Sports in the Facebook group. Ask us specifically what you're working on and say, you know what? This 1 to 5 new listings daily, I'm really struggling with my photography. This is my photography setup. What should I do next? That's perfect. That's the kind of question that we're looking for, and that is the type of self-awareness it takes to make this work. So I appreciate you guys. Being a small store is nothing to be ashamed of. If you are doing this right now, 250 item store, listing 1 to 5 a day, selling 1 to 5 a day, you're profitable. And that's all that counts. You don't need a big unprofitable store, trust me. That's a lot of headache, that's a lot of storage, that's a lot of money tied up. Just to brag about how big your store is, you don't want to be that store. You want to be small, nimble, profitable, and silent. Appreciate you guys. Until next time, make progress daily.